Hello everyone, Zeno here. Here to bring part 8 of What If Team RWBY and JNPR went back to Red vs Blue. Link down description of the fanfiction of this What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. Chapter 14, You Don't Know Anyone. Desert Temple, 2554. Pav, the Reds, the Blues, Ruby, Young, Blake, and John. Premise. The Reds go on the offensive against CT, while the residents of Valhalla are met with a friendly face. Caboose has something to say to Ruby. A large bang shook the ground of the Desert Temple. Peter, Paul, and Ringo. What the heck was that? Sarge shouted as he grabbed his shotgun. That didn't sound good. Griff added. I think CT and his men are inside the temple guys. John guessed. The Blues, Ruby and Young then came back from the hallway they were in. With Epsilon still suffering from short-term memory loss. Did you guys heat that? Tucker them about the loud bang. Heard what? Griff asked. Of course we heard that, idiot. I think they broke down the door. Tucker guessed. Same here. Blake agreed. Epsilon then floated into the room. What? Who would do that thing you said to the other thing? Everyone looks at the monitor confused. What's wrong with him? Griff asked. He disabled his memory or something dumb while trying to unlock this massive laser eye he's got. Young explained. Laser? Blake asked, quite intrigued. See. Sarge grumbled under his breath. Who has a laser? Epsilon asked, still suffering from memory loss. You do. Caboose and Ruby replied, with Ruby's comment more on the annoyed side of the spectrum. I do. Yes. Everyone replied. Caboose, shouldn't you be killing him or something? Tucker asked the blue soldier. Caboose just looked at the monitor for a few seconds, before smacking it in the eyeball. Ow. Hey, cut it out. Epsilon hissed at Caboose. Young and Ruby were trying not laugh at what just happened, while Blake just rolled her eyes and smirked at the situation. John was trying not to laugh as well. Tucker did it. Caboose muttered, putting the blame on his rival. No he didn't, jackass, you did. Epsilon shot at him. Oh, so you remember that? Blake asked him. How would I not remember that? Epsilon looked at her confused, as if his short-term memory loss never happened. So I guessed it's fixed. Ruby questioned. You guys never make any goddamn sense. Epsilon grumbled. Just then, CT could be heard down the hall. Over here. Split up. You two, guard the entrance. Don't let them out. CT ordered his men. I think we have more pressing issues at the moment, fellas. Sarge announced to his fellow peers. Second it. John and Blake replied at the same time. Everyone find some cover. Sarge ordered, and everyone ran down the hall. Pav change. Outpost 17B, Valhalla. Deciding to take a chance and run for Blue Base. The group in Valhalla gathered outside of Red Base, praying to God or whatever deity existed on Earth and Remnant. Hoping that the meta wouldn't just charge at them. Okay, here's the plan. We run straight for Blue Base. Keep your heads up, and stay in formation. Question. Weiss announced OT him. What? Simmons asked her. Why do I have to be in the front? Weiss asked. The order went as Simmons ordered them. Weiss, Lopez, Donut, Simmons, and everybody else. The real reason Simmons put her up front, was so that in case the meta did attack them, Weiss would be the first to go. Simmons was silent before answering her question. Shut up and stay in formation, Ice Queen. HMPH. Weiss muttered. Real classy of you, Simmons. Ren said to him. Thanks, I'll take that as a compliment. Why do I have to be in front of you? Lopez asked, since he was in between Weiss and Simmons. But, you guessed it. Exactly. I'll follow you, Lopez. Simmons answered. I'll handle your rears. Donut announced, earning a giggle from Nora. Okay. Change of plans. Simmons said after hearing Donut's innuendo. Donut, you're in between me and Lopez. I'll be a donut sandwich. The remaining member of Team JNPR started laughing, but Simmons had it. Damn it, Donut. You ruin everything. You know what, fuck it. Everyone follow me. Weiss, you're still up front. Hey. Weiss hissed. Just go. Simmons ordered her, make your way to where you guys first got here. The group made their along the far side of Valhalla, weapons drawn, ready for an inevitable attack. You guys see anything? Ren asked. If I saw something, I would be shooting dumbass. Lopez replied. But, well, keep your eyes open then Lopez. Simmons answered the robot. Why do you guys always ask me questions if you never understand the answers? Lopez asked them all. Geez, quiet, Lopez. Simmons shouted to the robot, we've been over this. God damn it. Again, can't you guys just admit you don't know what he's saying? Pyrrha asked. I know exactly what he's saying. Donut answered her, I took high school Spanish. I'm starting to think you flunked that class Donut. Nora suggested. I'm just answering Lopez because I feel like I should. Simmons answered the former's question, you know, keep everyone in the conversation. For once, I respect you. Lopez said to him, I'm just gonna say thanks Lopez, okay. Simmons replied, come on, let's keep moving. Simmons, I'm scared. Donut said to him, his voice shuddering. It's okay. We're all scared, Donut. Simmons answered, well most of us. I'm not scared. Weiss said to him, yeah whatever Ice Queen. Simmons ignored her. I'm not scared either. Lopez added, I made backups of myself this morning. The group then made it to the large wall where teams RWBY and JNPR arrived. Alright guys, stay calm, and don't panic. Simmons ordered them. You're the one who's panicking Simmons. Nora replied to him. I'm not. Simmons shot back. Where do you think the meta parked his ride? Ren asked. I don't know. Simmons replied, I'll try over here. It has to be. Before he could finish his sentence however, Simmons bumped into some unknown object. Ow, he said. The object then materialized into a jeep, similar to the one the Reds own. The only difference was that the turret on the back was the standard machine gun, and not Sarge's prototype weapon. What the heck was that? Weiss asked. An invisible car. Nora gasped. Cool. Pyrrha added. The meta must have cloaked it. Simmons explained as he got to his feet. Alright, everybody in, let's get the fuck out of here. We can't all fit in there, genius. Weiss announced. Do you want to argue over who sits where? Or die at the hand of a monster? Simmons shot back at her. Point taken. Pav changed. Desert Temple. Bang, bang, bang. Griff fired his rifle blindly at a single alien who was trying to flank them. RWBY, using her semblance, threw two humans off balance, causing them fall over, unconscious. This is intense. Yang shouted behind cover. You know, it might help if you came here and helped us. Tucker shouted as he fired at the incoming enemy soldiers. Yeah, but I'm good right here. Yang replied innocently. Everyone fall back, Sarge ordered, and with that line everyone returned to their cover. Church. Caboose said Epsilon, are you doing that? Doing what? The monitor asked him. He then noticed a large crate floating right next to him. Oh, now that is cool. RWBY cried. Second it. John added. What the fuck? Tucker asked, when did you get telekinesis? You have teleportasis. Caboose shouted, causing RWBY and Yang to laugh. What am I think about right now? Oh. Yang spoke up, is RWBY thinking about Caboose right now? Yang. RWBY yelled at her sister. My guess would be, nothing. Tucker suggested about Caboose's mind. Oh my god. Tucker has it too. Caboose cried. Look at this. Epsilon said, still fascinated over the floating crate, I wonder what other powers I have. I must be the most powerful being in the universe. Suddenly, Epsilon started to float away. Where are you going? Blake asked him. Oops. Epsilon said, yeah, I seem to have lost control of my body again. Yeah, some superhero. Tucker muttered, fucking dick. Griff then spoke up, guys, we got another alien coming. Bo chicka bow wow. Shut up Tucker. An alien then appeared out of the corn holding a very large machine gun in both hands. He started fire upon the group, even though they were behind cover. Epsilon started to float towards the alien. Church. RWBY shouted to him, where are you going? I don't know. He replied, help me. Epsilon floated right front of the alien before stopping and stared at him. Oh, hey Mr. Alien. Epsilon nervously said to the creature. Instead of firing at the monitor, the alien dropped his machine gun, and bowed before it. Tucker took notice of this, guys. Cease fire. Why? Griff asked. What's the alien doing? Yang asked. I've seen this before. Tucker explained, some of the aliens worship this ancient technology. This one probably thinks Church is a god. Wow. Seriously. Epsilon shouted with excitement, that's pretty fucking cool. Church a god? RWBY questioned, this is gonna be good. Oh great. John muttered, please don't tell me Church is gonna be full of himself. Hey, it's Church. Tucker replied, who knows what will happen. Maybe that's why his name is Church. Caboose gasped, earning a giggle from RWBY. Epsilon, using his telekinesis, picked up a box. What's up praying dude? How do y'all like me now? Bip. Epsilon then flung the crate into the creature, knocking it unconscious. Whoa. John yelled. WT fuck. Tucker added, what was that for? Dude, I think that affects your status as a deity. Well, what good is being a god if you can't smite some people? Epsilon countered, let's have some fun. Church, you're not a god. Blake spoke up, you an AI fragment. You can't even fire a sniper rifle. Suddenly, CT's voice could be heard, the shots came from down here. Uh-oh. Young muttered. Incoming. Sarge announced. Soon the group was surrounded by alien and human soldiers, all with weapons drawn at them. CT himself then showed up flanked by 2 humans and Smith. Freeze. Lower your weapons. CT barked at them. Why should we do that? Yang snarled at him as her eyes flared red. Shut up bitch. He shot back at her, his eyes then focused on Tucker. Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused me? Enough to get ya pissed, I can tell ya that. Tucker quipped. I should kill you right now. CT sneered. Epsilon then spoke up. Wait, somebody's getting killed. I wanna see. CT looked at the monitor, you activated it. He said, as if he was intrigued. Uh-oh. RWBY muttered, not good. Secure the relic. CT ordered one of his men, don't let it get away. One of the soldier pulls out some sort of pistol that starts glowing green. He points the weapon at Epsilon. Hey cool pistol dude. Green is my favorite color. Epsilon said, while looking at it. But pistol then fired a green bolt at him. Gib BB bar ARW. Epsilon then shuddered and flew down the hallway. Church. Both RWBY and Caboose shouted. Yes. CT shouted, great shot Jones. Thanks. The soldier replied, but it is pronounced Jones sir. Blurk. Smith then suddenly hauled off and punched Jones, knocking him unconscious. While the other aliens started turning their weapons on their human squadmates. What's going on? John asked. The aliens don't like it when their human allies mess with their religious artifacts. Tucker replied. CT then flung a grenade at the group. Luckily enough, Blake deflected the grenade, causing it to fall near a group of enemy humans, killing them. Get out of the way. CT shouted to his remaining allies, kill Smith and the others, I'll get out of here with the artifact. Come on, let's go. Tucker barked to the others. Wait, RWBY shouted, we need to grab Church. That guy in brown armor grabbed him. Griff added. Quick, we have to catch up to him. Caboose cried. CT ran out of the temple towards one of the jeeps. 2 soldiers were waiting for him with a motorcycle. Cover me until I'm clear. CT ordered them, with aft command. The 2 soldiers boarded their own motorcycle, with the one in the back grabbing a rocket launcher. As for CT, he tosses Epsilon into his own jeep, and drives off, with the motorcyclists in tow. Smith then exited the temple. Rower. He shouts to his fellow aliens, before running off in the opposite direction. Then the Reds and Blues, RWBY, Young, Blake, and John exited the temple. All of them noticing CT driving off. There he goes. Blake shouts. Everyone. In the jeep. Griff orders. We have to get turned over first. Sarge added. When they got to the jeep, they noticed that it was slightly damaged. On top of that, the 4 additional seats of the huntsmen were gone. Great. John groaned, now we can't all fit. Fine then, we'll go after CT, you kids stay here. Sarge said to the huntsman. Sarge then climbed into the passenger seat, Griff got into the driver's seat, and Caboose manned the turret. You think this thing will still work? Griff asked no one. I hope so. Sarge replied, come on Chupa baby. Griff then pushed on the gas pedal, and the jeep drove off in the direction CT had fled. Tucker then ran off in the opposite direction, the same direction Smith ran off to. Tucker, where are you going? Young shouted to him as he ran off. "Don't worry guys, I'll be right back," Tucker replied. The 4 huntsmen were left standing there. "So, now what?" Blake asked. "We stopped CT," Ruby replied. She then ran off using her semblance, leaving a flurry of rose petals behind. "I hate it when she does that," Young muttered. Griff stepped on the gas pedal of the Warthog, bringing its speed on par with CT's own ride. The latter of which was currently driving like a maniac, trying to shake the Reds off his tail. Unfortunately, he was having little success. "There he goes," Sarge barked from the PA Assenger's seat. "Yeah, I see him," Griff replied. Oh," Caboose muttered from the turret, "bad guys right behind us." The motorcycle carrying 2 of CT's goons started chasing the Reds' jeep. The one in the back fired a rocket, luckily it misses. And it lands close to CT, causing him to swerve back and forth. "Don't shoot at me," CT barked, "shoot at them." The motorcycle gains some momentum on the Reds, but steps on the brake furiously. The motorcycle flies right past them, allowing Griff to get a good look them. This way, now he see who is trying to shoot him. The motorcycle crew once again fires a rocket at the team, but it misses twice. It swerves and rolls on side, as if it was gonna crash. But it doesn't, and lands right side up. As they try to fire another rocket, they are ambushed by Smith and his alien crew, who are piloting some alien vehicle, with Smith in the driver's seat and his companion in gunner position. They start chasing the motorcycle, allowing the Reds some breathing room while they chase CT. "Caboose," Sarge shouted to the blue soldier, "charge the cannon." "Okay, it's charged," Caboose replied. "Fire." Caboose pulls the trigger, and a large white beam fires out of the turret. Unfortunately, it misses as CT turns a corner. The Reds' jeep then comes to a halt. Ruby then appeared, having finally caught up with the chase. "What happened?" Ruby asked. "The engine died," Griff replied, trying to get the jeep started again. Just then, Smith drives right past them, continuing the chase on CT. "Look, aliens," Caboose cried. "Well, they must be here to help." "Yes," Ruby added, "thanks Smith." "Blarg," the alien replied from his vehicle. Guys," Griff muttered. Everyone turned around to see the motorcycle crew, aiming their rocket launcher at them. They look happy, not one bit. "Oh, hey assholes," a voice shouted from afar. Everyone turned to look at a large sand dune. Just then, a vehicle jumped off the hill. Its design was similar to that of the alien's vehicle, however, this version looked more like a big wheel. In the driver's seat, was Tucker. "Yah ha 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 ha," Tucker shouted, if he was doing a warrior charge. However, this battle cry would change to screaming. "Ah ha 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 ha." The big wheel would end up crashing into the temple ruins. Everyone, even the motorcycle crew, looked at Tucker bewildered. Quote. "Cannon is charged." Caboose broke the silence, while aiming at the motorcycle. "Okay then, fuck it, shoot them," Sarge replied casually. Caboose fired the gun, the motorcycle exploded, killing the 2 soldiers on it. Tucker then came out of the temple, still driving the big wheel. Hey guys," he said to them, "sorry about that." "Tucker, where did you get that?" Ruby asked, quite surprised at the vehicle. "Oh, this is my ride," Tukler answered. "The aliens gave it to me." "Did they give you driving lessons as well?" Griff sarcastically asked. "Oh, we kinda skipped that part," Tucker replied. "Come on, let's keep moving." With that, Griff started up the jeep and drove off to find CT. With Tucker following suit, Ruby also hopped on Tucker's ride, due to a low amount of aura. As for Smith, he was still on CT's tail. He bumped into the latter's back bumper, causing CT to swerve. Filthy piece of shit," he cursed at the alien. CT turned a corner, with Smith doing the same. However, he was gone. Where did he go? Suddenly, Smith heard a noise. The sound of a car horn. Turn around, he saw CT driving at them at full speed. The jeep rammed into the alien vehicle, destroying it. Smith and his alien companion were either dead or severely injured. CT then drove off again, catching the eyes of the Reds. "There he is," Caboose shouted. "You guys follow him, we'll cut off." Ruby shouted from Tucker big wheel. "We can't lose church," Caboose replied. "We won't," Tucker shot back. "You always say that, but we always do," Caboose countered. "Pav change. Outpost 17B, Valhalla. Goddamn, why won't it start? Simmons said to himself, as he tried to get the Jeep started. Maybe he took out the starter. Lopez suggested, that's what I would do. But Simmons wasn't paying any attention. It looks like the meta removed the starter. Really? Well, no shit. Lopez muttered. Huh. For someone who acts like a brute. The meta can be quite intelligent. Pyrrha commented. I second that, Pyrrha. Simmons replied, there's got to be something we can do get the Jeep started. What do we do? Ren asked. Lopez then ran to the back of the Jeep. Stay in there, Simmons. He said, we'll push the car, you pop the clutch. It's all over. Donut sniffled, we can't do anything. You're going to give up now? Weiss questioned the pink soldier. All is lost. Wait, Ren said, as he went to where Lopez is. Simmons popped the clutch. Oh. Simmons replied, Lopez, is that what you were trying to tell us? The robot nodded, having finally lost it. As much of a great idea that is Lopez. Simmons began, we can't do that. Why not? Nora asked, quite confused. The meta pulled out the car battery as well. Speaking of the meta, Weiss spoke up, here he comes. Everyone turned to see the white armored brute, charging towards them. Grenade launcher in hand. Oh shit. Lopez muttered. How are we gonna stop him without ammo? Nora asked. That gave Simmons an idea, huh? This thing never runs out of ammo. He replied, as he climbed onto the Jeep machine gun turret. Remembering the first time he used this type of Jeep in Blood Gulch. You be strong enough to turn that thing without power, asshole. Lopez commented as he, Donut, and the huntsman watched Simmons try with all his strength to get the turret to turn, and face the meta. Simmons then pulls the trigger on the machine gun, but since the turret won't turn, none of the shots land on the white armored brute. Oh, fuck. Simmons muttered. Language. Weiss yelled in a high-pitched voice. Fuck language, Ice Queen. Simmons shot back, you're still first in line, remember? Hey, maybe you could get him to stand in front of the car. Lopez sarcastically suggested. What? He said maybe you could convince the meta to stand in front of the Jeep. Donut surprisingly, and perfectly translated what Lopez said. Seriously. Lopez shouts, that you understood. You're right, Lopez. I like pencils too. Donut happily replied. Donut. I think actually translated what Lopez said. Pyrrha commented. Really? So he liked pencils? No, I meant about standing in front of the Jeep. Oh. Lopez, that's a terrible idea. Pav change. Desert Temple. The Reds and Caboose continued to pursue CT, the latter was currently getting farther and farther away from them. Caboose. Sarge shouted, what in Sam Hill are you doing back there? Shot him. Okay. No, Caboose, don't shoot them. You'll stall the Jeep. Griff countered. Okay. Griff, stop giving Caboose orders and focus on driving. Sarge yelled to the orange soldier. Okay. Caboose don't respond to Griff. Sarge added. Okay. As the Reds and Caboose were bickering, Tucker and Ruby were driving on the hillside, they getting closer to CT. Okay, Ruby. Tucker said to her, we only got one shot at this. Got it. Got it. Ruby replied. Tucker stepped on the gas pedal. He pasted CT's Jeep undetected, and drove down the hill. Ruby. Jump now. With that comment, both he and Ruby jumped off the big wheel, letting the vehicle fly off to who knows where. Tucker pulled out his energy sword, while Ruby extended crescent rose into its scythe form. They were a few feet away from CT, who was coming up fast in his Jeep. Meanwhile, Caboose fired the Jeep's turret. It misses, yet again, causing it to stop. Jeep stalled. Griff announced. Like user error. Sarge countered. Yeah, cause that's what it is. Griff shot back. CT got closer to Ruby and Tucker, both were waiting. Gotta time this, Tucker muttered. Now, Ruby shouted, with that command. Tucker and Ruby slashed at the sides of CT's Jeep as it drove by. It stops abruptly, and then explodes, sending the driver flying out of the driver's seat. Yes, Ruby cheered, we got him. Look, he's getting away. Tucker then pointed over to CT, who was running back to the temple ruins. I'll get him, Ruby shouted as she ran after the mysterious soldier. Ruby, wait. Damn it. Tucker muttered. Young, Blake, and John then show up, having noticed the entire battle from afar. Man, that was awesome. Yang cried, "You guys were badass." "Thanks." Tucker replied, "How ya enjoyed the show?" "Where's Ruby?" Caboose asked, as he and the Reds finally arrived, having abandoned their Jeep due to its flaws. "She ran after CT." Tucker answered, "I'll go after her." He then ran off in the direction of the temple. "I'm coming with you," Yang announced and followed suit. "Same here," Caboose added, and he did the same. "Come on," John said to the others, "let's find Church." The group started looking through the wreckage of the Jeep, trying to find Epsilon. "Church," Blake shouted, "where'd you go?" Tucker, Yang, and Caboose all ran around the temple, trying to look for Ruby and CT. Eventually, they arrived on the roof of the temple grounds, overlooking the entire area. "Where the hell did he go?" Tucker asked no one. "And where's Ruby?" Yang added. The cocking of a gun caught their attention. The trio turned around to see CT standing there, battle rifle in hand. He had Crescent Rose strapped to his back, and clenched to his left hand, was Ruby Rose. "Stay where you are," he barked at them. "Let my sister go, you freak." Yang yelled at him, her eyes flaring red with anger. "Shut the fuck up, Blondie." He snarled at her. He then looked at Tucker. "Tucker, I should have killed you the second I had," he said to him. "It's a shame you had to pull children into this." "Let her go," Caboose said to him. "You shut up." CT said to him, "I don't need to be lectured by some half-wit. Just let her go, please." Caboose pleaded with him. "Caboose," Ruby whispered, which caught CT's attention. He looked at her, then back at Caboose, then at her, then Caboose. Then, he started to laugh. "Ha ha 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 ha. You can't be serious," he said out loud. "You actually love her." "I don't believe it." Caboose was just silent. Tucker and Yang looked at him, their palms still trained on CT. "Well, I'm waiting for an answer," CT said to him, as if he was getting bored. "Yes. Yes I do," Caboose solemnly replied, causing Ruby to blush slightly. "Wow, how amazing at this," CT shouted, "but this is making me sick. We all know that love hurts. Am I right? And come on man, aren't you a little old for her?" "Actually," Tucker spoke up, "Caboose is only 17. "Really?" Yang asked, quite surprised. "I didn't know." "Enough," CT barked, "I will make sure Little Red will suffer." "I don't think so," Caboose countered. "What makes you say that?" CT snarled at him. "Well, you might wanna watch your back." "What?" CT turned around, but it was too late. "Ruby, now," Caboose shouted. Ruby shoved CT to the side, throwing him off balance. She then grabbed Crescent Rose and tossed it to Caboose, who then unfolded the weapon into its scythe form and, with literally all of his strength, rammed the blade into CT's chest. "Ah!" CT roared in pain, before he pulled the blade out of his chest, and tossed it aside. Ruby then ran over to the others, right next to Caboose in fact. "Give up dude," Tucker said to the injured man, "but one last question, before you die of blood loss. Who are you anyway?" "Sorry," CT quipped, "you'll never know." "Hey sup?" A voice spoke. Everyone looked up to see Epsilon floating in the air. His big eye focused on CT. What the hell is that thing?" CT asked. Suddenly, Epsilon's eye started to glow bright red. He was still staring at CT. "Oh, son of a." Epsilon fired a bright red laser from his eye at CT. The latter then fell to the ground, dead, with a scorch mark and large cut in his chest. "I am not a thing. My name is Leonard Church. And you will fear my laser face," Church announced to everyone. "Oh hell yeah," Tucker shouted, "you just go fucked up. That might be the coolest thing I ever saw, of all time." Yang said in shock. "Wow, now that was awesome," Caboose said, "right Ruby?" Caboose looked at Ruby, who was looking away. "Ruby?" he asked again. Ruby then walked up to Caboose and slid part of his helmet up, revealing the bottom portion of his face and mouth. She then planted a small, but quick kiss on it, before sliding the helmet down. Ruby was blushing madly now. Who knows what Caboose looked like now? "Thanks Caboose," Ruby said to him. "Church," Caboose said to his friend, "feel weird, like, really weird, the good kind of weird, is that bad?" "Don't worry Caboose. You'll be fine," Church replied, "I'll give you some tips later." Like I said, Yang spoke up, I approve. The Reds, Blake, and John then showed up. That was cool. John shouted, that laser thing was unexpected. Yeah, really cool. Griff added, hey, man, how did you do that? Tucker asked the monitor. I don't really know. Church replied, I just got really mad and, ya know, it happened. Can you do it to the yellow guy? Tucker asked, referring to Griff. Sure, I guess. No. The huntsman replied in unison. Fine. Church replied, I've got a bad feeling about this. Sarge said to Griff. For once, you and I agree on something. Griff replied. Look guys, we need to keep our heads in the game. Tucker announced, let's get back into that temple, and shut it down for good. Right. Yang replied, guys, we may have a problem. Caboose said to everyone. The group looked at the temple entrance. It was blocked by Smith, who apparently survived the vehicle crash from before. Along with him, was the rest of his alien friends. Well, this isn't good. Blake muttered. Pav change. Outpost 17B, Valhalla. He's getting closer. Nora shouted to Simmons, who was still trying to get the turret to move. Suddenly, a gun was fired. Bang, bang, bang. The of a 3-round burst rifle was heard. The group at the meta, approaching him from behind was a man in cold, steel gray armor with yellow accents on his thighs, helmet, forearms, and shoulders, and carried a battle rifle. It was Agent Washington. Guys. Simmons shouted, it's Agent Washington. The guys Caboose called for. Weiss questioned. Yep, we're gonna be alright. Stop right there. Wash shouted to the meta, stand down, I'll take from here. The meta made some growling noises before stepping out of the way for was to pass by. Simmons looked at him confused, what was Wash doing? What's happening? Simmons asked. He's not acting friendly, Simmons. Ren said a little worried. Where is it? Wash bitterly asked the maroon soldier. Where's what? Simmons asked back, why aren't you and the meta fighting? The Epsilon unit, I know you have it. Wash replied, give it to me. I thought you said this guy's was your friend. Lopez said to Simmons. Wait, you're working with the meta. Simmons was shocked. Wash then stood in front of Simmons, his rifle in hand, don't make me repeat myself. Would some explain, what is going on? Lopez asked no one. Wash then pulled out his pistol, and pulls the trigger, and the bullet hits Lopez in the head. Bang! The robot then fell to the ground with a thud. Empty, and lifeless. Lopez. The huntsman shout in utter shock. Oh my god, he just shot Lopez. Donut added. Wash then turned to Donut. Bang! Wash fired the gun again, and the Jeep's window breaks. Donut. Simmons asked his companion in a worried tone. Simmons. Donut said weakly, I think he shot me. Donut then too fell to the ground, dead. Donut, no. Simmons screamed, Donut, come on, breathe, please, breathe. Simmons looked at the huntsman, guys, run. Wash then took notice of the huntsman, his gun now pointed at them. Don't even think about it. He barked at them, he looked at each of them before staring at one particular one. His hand clenched his pistol. You, he growled, I knew it, this was a trick. What? Simmons asked, still distraught over two of his friends dying. But his thoughts were clouded by another noise. Bang. No, Simmons muttered. Pav change. Desert Temple. The huntsmen each felt their scrolls vibrate. They pulled them out, but upon looking at them, their faces turned pale. Warning. Huntsman's aura is in red zone. User is in critical condition. Huntsman identified. Pyrenicos. Chapter 15. Heroes Twilight. Outpost 17B, Valhalla, 2554. Pav. Frank Dufresne. Premise. Doc arrives in Valhalla for unknown reasons. Church tries to deliver a eulogy. Ruby and Caboose are voted cutest couple. A mysterious and dark feeling swept over the canyon of Valhalla. Standing on the cliff side was a soldier in purple armor. He carried a strange-looking object in his hands. Come in command. Doc said via his radio, come in command, this is Medical Officer Dufresne. I have arrived at Freelancer Program Simulation Outpost 17. But there was no answer. Command. Come in, this is Medical Officer Dufresne. I have reached FPS Outpost 17. Doc said again. That was when he was interrupted by a voice. Hey, down here, we're over here. Hey, come down here. The voice said. Doc looked down the hill to see a soldier standing near the riverside. 2 objects were lying next to him. Doc then got back on the radio. "Never mind, command, I think I see the objective," he said before getting off the radio again. "Stupid radio doesn't work anyway. What else is new?" he grumbled to himself as he made his way down the hill. That was when he noticed the soldier standing there was actually his friend Simmons. "Holy cow, Simmons. Is that you?" Doc asked him. "Oh, hey Doc." Simmons replied, "Man, I didn't know they'd send you." "Yeah, we got the radio call and I was the closest medic so they sent me." Doc explained, "But I didn't know it'd be you guys. Small galaxy, huh? Man, we got a lot of catching up to do. So what's up? Somebody hurt or what? What's going on?" "It's them." Simmons gestured to the 2 objects on the ground. That was when Doc got a good look at them. Lying next to Simmons were 2 bodies. The first was a soldier in pink armor, who Doc instantly recognized as other body he couldn't make out. It was a girl with bright red hair. She wore bronze armor, similar to a Greek Spartan. "Them?" Doc asked. "Yep," Simmons replied. "Well, I hate to break the news to you, Simmons." Doc began, "But Donut here is dead." Was all what Simmons muttered in return. "As for the girl here, well, actually she's not dead at all, she's just unconscious. There's a bruise on her chest though." "Why is that?" "Bullet wound," Simmons replied. "I see," said Doc. "Wait, who is this?" he asked. "I've never seen this girl before." But Simmons didn't answer him. "Man, I just didn't know they'd send you." "Yeah, you said that already." Doc replied. "Hey, is everything okay with you?" "It's not my fault, Doc. I had to make the call, they made me." Simmons said, as if he was ashamed. "They needed someone with medical training." Doc looked at him confused. "What are you talking about?" Simmons lowered his head in despair. "I didn't mean for you to get involved. I'm sorry, really." "Sorry about what?" Doc asked as he turned around. That's when he came face to face with 2 soldiers standing behind him. Both were holding him, and Simmons at gunpoint. "He's sorry about us." One of them snarled at him before the other one knocked him out. POV change. Desert Temple. Griff was currently on top of the hill from their previous car chase, just a few meters away from the temple. He was looking down at the ground when he noticed Tucker, Young, and Blake. "Hey Griff," Blake said to him. "Hey guys, what's up?" Griff asked them. "Well, what are you up to?" Young asked back. "Well, Sarge told me to bury all the bodies from our battle," Griff explained. "That's a lot of graves," Tucker replied. "Lot of holes to fill, bow chicka bow wow." Blake groaned at his comment, while Griff continued. "And now I can't find them because the wind blew sand all over them." "Well, I guess they're actually buried." "God job, dude," Tucker said to him. "I like the WYA you think," Griff replied. Blake and Young smiled. For once both team could get along. Sarge and John then came up the hill. "Griff." Sarge shouted, "What the hell are ya doing? I already told you to bury those bodies." Sarge looked at the sand, noticing that the bodies were gone. "Looks like he did it," John announced. "Yeah, he buried the shit out of them," Tucker added. Sarge muttered. "Did you help him?" Sarge questioned the Aqua soldier. "Help him," Tucker countered. "Dude, we've been fighting for like who knows how long. Haven't you learned anything about me yet? I'm a lover, not a digger." "You say that all the time," Young said to him. "Like I said, I'm a lover, not a talker." "Yeah, I bet Caboose is a better talker than you." Young shot at him. "I mean, he kinda swept Ruby off her feet." "Actually, that was literally." Blake countered. "He tripped on something earlier, and Ruby fell with him." "Oh. Yahea," Griff chuckled about his duty. "Maybe if those bodies were dead ladies." "Griff." Blake and Young yelled at him. "That sounded a lot creepier in my head," Griff muttered, ashamed of what he said. "Well, does anyone wanna say any words?" Sarge asked everyone. "Words?" John asked, a little puzzled. "Yes, these men were still soldier," Sarge explained. "Even if they were enemy soldiers, they still deserve a eulogy." "Not me," Blake spoke up. "Well, what about you, buddy, Mr. Cult Leader?" Sarge offered, referring to Church. Church turned a corner near the hillside, with Smith and the aliens in tow. "So then there was one guy, said some things about the other guy, and the people liked it. And that's pretty much that. Church said to the aliens as he floated around the complex. It not his fault. Tucker said to the others, as they watched Church from the top of the hill, those aliens just worship this ancient technology. And the people who made it. What a brother gonna do? Who worships technology? John questioned. Are they from the internet? Griff suggested. What the internet? Blake asked him. How do you know what? Fuck it. But serious have to have a talk about the difference between our culture and you culture. Griff announced. Fine by me. Balk agreed with him. Back with Church and the aliens. Caboose and RWBY joined the group, the latter was getting a piggyback ride from the Blue Soldier. Yes, this is just very interesting. Caboose said amongst the aliens, I understand everything that is being said. You don't, do you? RWBY questioned him. Not a clue. Caboose admitted. Caboose. Tucker shouted to him from the hill, what are you doing? Get out of there. It's not fair. Caboose countered, I worshipped Church, way before it was cool to worship him. Hey. Griff barked at him, I told you, that will never be cool. Never. Church then came up the hill, with the aliens staying behind at the bottom. Oh, hey guys, he said to them, how's life among the non-deities? Same old same old. Yang jokingly answered, don't ya think you're miling this just a bit? Sarge questioned him. Hey, do you want to tell a big group of deadly aliens that they're mistaken and he's not who they think he is? Tucker countered Sarge's question. See your point. Sarge replied, hey, your circular holiness. How about delivering the eulogy? We're burying most of these guys 'cause of you anyway. Me. Church questioned, I only lasered one guy. Which was cool. Caboose agreed with him, the laser came out of your face. Hey, it wasn't just me. Church countered, you were the one who saved RWBY. You rammed that side into his chest. All while confessing, which by the way, congrats. Thanks, I guess. Caboose replied, haven't you been able to figure out how you did that? Tucker asked about Church's laser. No, I think I just got really mad. Church then got an idea, hey, say something that will make me angry. We're not gonna do that to you, Church. RWBY spoke up, still on Caboose's shoulders. But Tucker beat her to it, you're ugly and nobody likes you. Tucker, you're annoying and your team sucks. Griff added. Griff, you're self-absorbed, and full of yourself. Yang suddenly said. Yang, you're round and can't wear pants. Caboose added. Well, actually, that's just a fact. RWBY said to Caboose. So, Tucker said to Church, are ya pissed? No, I think I'm kinda depressed now. He said solemnly, Caboose is right. I can't wear pants. Well, I only said it because everyone was thinking it. Caboose explained. Maybe made makes a red laser, and depressed makes a blue laser. Tucker suggested. What about green? Yang questioned. Sick. Tucker replied. Orange. Only if it's pointed at Griff. Hey. Griff shouted. Well, I hope we don't find out what makes a brown laser. Caboose muttered as he stepped away from the monitor. RWBY shivered at the thought as well. You idiots shut up. Sarge spoke up. Hey Globy, you making a speech or what? Hey sure no problem. Church replied, I did a sermon just earlier that the aliens loved. He floated to the top of the hill as the Reds, and the huntsman went down it to be with the aliens, RWBY, and Caboose. Sermon. Tucker questioned him, you just read them the setup guide to our inkjet printer. Yeah, and they eat that gadget stuff up. Church explained, you gotta know your audience buddy. Tucker groaned and joined the others at the bottom of the hill. Griff then spoke up, how is it possible that ever since Caboose revived you, you can't remember anything except how to be a jackass? Maybe it's hardwired. Yang jokingly replied. Church then started his ecology, attention true believers. He said to Caboose, RWBY and the aliens. He then looked at the Reds, Tucker, Blake, Yang, and John. And other people. We are here today to pay our final, and our first, respects, to the dearly departed. But first, I'd like you all to join me in a song, in honor of me. I am the best. Skip it. The other people shouted to him. Fine. Okay. In the beginning, there was darkness. And out from the darkness came a voice. And it said. Church started to trail off as he noticed something in the corner of his vision. It was a figure in black armor. And it said, out from the darkness came. Out from the darkness. Everyone looked at him confused. Church. Blake asked him. Is his playback skipping? Griff suggested. I don't know. Tucker replied. Maybe he needs a reboot. Sarge suggested, good thing I wore my boots. I'll reboot him right in the keister. Hey. I don't think that'll work, Sarge. John countered him. Church continued speaking nonsense. Out from the darkness came someone. He then noticed the figure run off. I'll be right back, he said to everyone before floating off. Smith and the others started to get feisty. Oh, the natives are getting restless. Tucker said, a little worried. Caboose, RWBY, get up there and stall him. I'll figure out what's going on. I'm coming with you. Blake added. Fine by me. Tucker and Blake then ran after Church. Caboose and RWBY then went on the hilltop. Yes, and out of the darkness came someone. Caboose started saying, and RWBY continued, and that someone was us. Yes. And we said, funerals are sad. And we should have a birthday party instead. Yes. Let there be cake. And cookies. Hallelujah, Gesundheit. Caboose ended the eulogy. I literally just realized why those two were meant to be. Griff whispered to Yang. Just go with it. Yang whispered back to him. Church continued to follow the mysterious figure through the temple, trying to get him or her to stop. Hey you. Hold on a second, who are you? Hey, I'm talking to you, what are you, deaf? What are you? Church then saw the figure enter small temple ruin, which suddenly transformed into a tall structure in a canyon, next to a waterfall. What? Church asked himself. Church. Hey Church, what are you doing out here, man? Blake asked him. When he turned around, the setting turned back into the desert, with Blake and Tucker standing in front of him. Who whu? Church was confused on what AHD just happened. Dude, the aliens don't like it when you leave them alone. And I don't like when the aliens don't like stuff. We all don't like that, Tucker. Blake said to him. Did you see him? Church asked them. The duo looked at him confused. See who? Tucker asked him. The person. Church tried to explain, from the darkness, no, that's not right. Well, did you? I have no idea what you're talking about, Church. Blake answered him. The Reds, and John then showed up. What's he talking about? Sarge asked the two. We think he's having another memory flash. A what? John said, puzzled. Random memories that keep coming back to him. Tucker explained, he's been getting more of them lately, and I think he doesn't have any control over it. He gets all emo too, it's annoying. It's like having a chick around, but without the fun stuff. You should take out his memory unit and blow on it. Sarge suggested, that'll fix it. Caboose and RWBY then showed up, having ditched the aliens. RWBY also got off of Caboose's shoulders. Is he having more memory problems? Caboose asked Tucker. Yep. Church continued explaining what he saw. I saw a canyon, and a waterfall. He said, and there was some dark figure there as well. Was the dark figure? Caboose asked him. Caboose, we'll tell you if he remembers you. I'm pretty sure he already does. RWBY added. Waterfall, huh? Tucker repeated Church's line. That's the second time you said that today. Wait a minute. Blake spoke up. That sounds like Valhalla. Yeah, our new bases. Griff added. It is. Caboose questioned. It is. You didn't remember a waterfall? Tucker asked, quite surprised. Dude, that's like not remembering your girlfriend had a dick. Right, Griff? Yang started making snickering noises, before bursting out into laughter. Blake simply rolled her eyes, but couldn't help but smirk and snicker at Tucker's comment. I'm starting to regret ever telling you that story. Griff groaned. He then noticed Sarge gesturing at him to come over to him. He did so, with Blake and John following suit. Sarge said, deep in thought. What do you think, Sarge? Griff asked. I don't like this, fellas. Sarge explained. What? John asked. The vision. Yeah. Sarge replied, I've never been what you guys call a new age kinda guy. You don't say. Blake muttered. But this bowling ball seems to be on one heck of a roll. Sarge continued, pun intended. With the flying and laser shooting and all that. And he can LFT things. Griff added, without arms. That too. Sarge agreed, but this memory thing is getting a little out of hand. We need to contact Simmons. He might know what to do. But Sarge, the radios here in the desert are destroyed. John spoke up. On top of that, we can't get a signal with our scrolls here as well. I think I have a solution. Sarge announced. And this the end of part 8 this what if. I hope you guys like it. Don't really leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel.